up, everybody? It's your host, Gerard Henry, and Lift Every Voice. And I'm here in Freeport, New York, at the Perfecting Faith Church with Pastor Donnie McClurkin. It's a blessing to be with you.
Man, good to have you here. Make yourself at home.
Yes, sir. One thing I appreciate about you is that you're consistent, off camera, on camera, and I think that's why so many people are impacted by your ministry. But tell us about Donnie McClurkin, the artist.
Donnie McClurkin, the artist, is a little more complicated than Donnie McClurkin, the person. Donnie McClurkin, the artist, has to be concerned about the music, has to be concerned about the scheduling and the tour dates, has to be concerned about the different things that go along with CDs and marketing them. And Donnie McClurkin, the artist, has to be a stickler in rehearsal and has to be a villain of a guy with the musicians and the singers. Donnie, artist, has got to be concerned with sound scan and blah, blah, blah. That is the Donnie McClurkin that I don't care for.
I hear you.
The artist side of me is the side that I am downplaying more than ever before now, and cleaving to the ministry side of Donnie McClurkin.
So when did you feel that call to pastor?
I felt it a long time ago, and I dismissed it as a joke. Okay, as a joke, and I didn't really want to pastor. I never wanted to. It was never, ever desired. I wanted to sing, and I never wanted to sing lead either. I wanted to sing background with my sisters.
Wow.
And God just messed all that.
Sure.
And when the pastoring started becoming more of a reality, I ran real hard. And my pastor Marvin Winans would keep telling me, don't get comfortable here in Detroit because you got to go back to New York.
Wow.
I've been here for 10 years. Oh, please. And sure enough, 12 years being away from here, God sent me back here to pastor.
How difficult was it to make that transition from Detroit to here?
It was harder emotionally, it was harder because I had developed all of my roots and, transplanted myself into Detroit. And I didn't want to leave there because of the friends, because of the church, and my whole, everything was there,
right?
For me. And when it came time to leave, it was hard. It was hard. It took me a year to stop commuting.
Wow.
I was commuting back and forth here for a year until finally God really gave it to me to settle down. And he took Detroit out of me.
Wow.
And put me here.
Well, we're going to be back with Donnie McClurkin a lot more.
We'll be right
here
back
on Lift Every Voice.
Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Donnie McClurkin, and you're watching Lift Every Voice right here on BET, Black Star Power.
Your album, Live in London and More, went almost double platinum.
It should be double platinum by the end of
next
the
week.
Year. That's only if God works in miracles. But it should be double platinum probably by the end of the year.
And it had a profound impact. Why do you think it had such a profound impact? And it's still doing so.
The timing of God and a simple song by the name of We Fall Down But We Get Up. And friends like Oprah Winfrey, like Star Jones, like other people who have made it a household commodity.
Sure.
And it was all the timing of God. Everything happened at the right time.
Incredible. Now, what about Andre Crouch? I know he has been a mentor to you.
I love him.
And just tell us about his influence on your life.
Andre Crouch is the reason why you have seen Donnie McClurkin, besides God's purpose.
Wow.
Andre Crouch is the reason why Donnie ever got into singing. There were two entities, Edwin Hawkins and Andre Crouch. And Andre Crouch, at 11 years old, prayed for me.
Wow.
And asked God to give me what he gave to him.
Wow.
And the reason why I did Live in London and More is because Andre Crouch did Live in London in 1978.
That's amazing.
And he had such a wonderful response and sales and ministry there that I've always wanted to do that. So when I signed on with Verity Records, they asked me what kind of record I wanted to do, and I said, I want to do one in London. Literally 3 weeks later, I was in London. 3 weeks later, I was in London. Zamba and Verity saw the vision, sent me to London, and that's how the whole thing happened. Not knowing that it was going to be following the footsteps of Andre, that this CD would become such a mammoth CD in sales. but it is literally because of the impartation that
I was
Andre
going to
did.
say, fruit of the impartation.
He prayed for me, imparted it in me, and that's where I learned how to play the piano, besides my mother. And that's where all of the singing stuff came into play.
Wow. And now you're one of the premier gospel artists.
Well, I don't know about all of
Well, it's true, because I got to segue into the Hopeville tour. I mean, you, Yolanda, Kirk, I mean, you are like the premier leading artists, and you all have shared some really wonderful things with other aspiring artists, just sharing your life, which I think is incredible. But tell us about the Hopeville tour and what that
Oh, man, the Hopeville tour. I miss it. That's why I'm going back in retrospect in the section. The Hopeville tour was absolutely wonderful. Thank you all for coming to Hopeville. And I wish to God we could do that again, because that was our landmark tour in many ways.
Sure.
There were 3 artists that laid aside all of their celebrity and bowed at the feet of each other and served each other. And no one wanted to headline, and no one wanted to be the star. All of us wanted to be with each other. My thing was, where's Kirk's segment so I can get out and sing on this segment? And many nights I sang the whole set.
Wow.
Because it was fun. It was giving up yourself so that you could help the other one. Yolanda was like sister to us, where, everything flowed. We got into no skirmishes. We got into no arguments. Me and Kirk had a tiff once that lasted like that. And then we're kissing each other on the head. That was our thing every night. Man, show me some love.
Right.
Kiss him on the head. He'd kiss me on my head. And we loved each other for the whole entire time. We had Smokey Norfolk on there. Kirk brought him onto the tour with us. And because we wanted to give him a spot. Sure. Because everybody who knows anything about gospel music knows that Smokey Norfolk is the man for this time, is the man of this hour. So our thing is, we humble ourselves to who God is going to use next. And we use all of our experiences to make the person as educated and as anointed as possible. And we pass it on. Hi, this is Donnie McClurkin.
We'll do a promo. We'll be back with more on Listen to Your Voice.
Stay here. Don't go no place else.
Now I want to talk about your current CD again. I think it's phenomenal. I really love the song again. The single that is being released now is The Prayer with you and Yolanda. Tell us about that and how that came to be.
That song, that was David Foster and Cal Bear. They wrote the song. David Foster gave it to Celine Dion and Andre Bocelli.
Wow.
And they did it in Italian. And then Josh Groban, who is a wonderful voice. Oh my God, that young man. Josh Groban and Charlotte Church did it on Josh's CD. And David said he wanted to do it with more of a dramatic feel, with more passion, with more.
Wow.
So he asked if I would sing it on the next CD, and I said yes. And he said he heard Yolanda Adams singing it with me. So when you mentioned Yolanda Adams, see, there's 2 women in gospel you mentioned. C.C. Winan and Yolanda Adams. Well, 4. And Dorinda Clark, Cole, and Karen Clark Shear. You got me every time.
Done.
You say their names, I'll be right there. Because I love them. I love y'all.
That's all right.
And so he asked if we would sing it, and we said yes. And then he took me up to the house in Malibu and showed me how the song went. And before we knew it, it was done.
Wow.
And working with David Foster is like working with the epitome of a producer who sits down and does it the old way. No, we're not comping any of your vocals. You're gonna sing the whole song all the way through.
Wow.
And no, you have a better one in you. Well, can't you piece the last one with this one? No, you can do it all the way through. And it benefited me because now, when it comes time to sing it live, we didn't cheat on it. We did it straight through. And it came out to be the classic that it is. Absolutely phenomenal. And then we did a video on it. And the video came out much better than I could ever believe.
So you're taking all my questions. I just need to sit back. Just keep the close up. Keep the close up. Now, go ahead. Tell us about the video.
I'm a talker.
Tell us about the video. Go ahead.
The video? Oh, okay. Now, the video, we shot that in L.A. at the Orpheum Theater.
Very gorgeous video.
Man, I'm telling you.
Classic. And
the way they did it was so painless and so seamless. And the kids in that video were totally funny. We started off with the all-white rooftop scene first. That's how we started. When we got to the top, I had on all this white, and the kids were sitting in the circle, 6 kids. And one little kid said, his name was Ote. Ote said, hey, it's Elvis.
Oh,
I don't
no.
know. I was into laughing. They called me the milkman.
Wow.
And then they started calling me Johnny Bravo. All of them started calling me Johnny Bravo.
Also featured on your project again is Special Gift, featuring Lynette Hawkins Stevens.
Yep, that's my sister.
Tell us about that song.
Man, Walter Hawkins, I believe it was 1984, that Walter Hawkins came out with a solo project. And on that project, he had a song called Special Gift. And it was such an unusual type of gospel song. The cadence of the song, the wording of the song, and it was so powerful, especially when it got to the end. And on the recording, Yvette Flunders sang the lead. But I happened to go to Edwin's Music and Arts Seminar one year, and Love Center Choir sang it. Now, I thought the family was tight. You know? The choir is just as tight as the family. Harmonies are, there's no choir in this nation that is as polished and gifted as Love Center. And they started singing it, Heaven sent me here. And they sang it like they were one voice. Then Lynette grabbed the microphone and sang the lead. It was over. And I sat next to a woman named Ruth Lyons, who's an old Edwin Martin singer. And I told Ruth, I said, I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I'm going to sit right in. I was on the front row. I said, I'm not moving. I sit right here. They got to Jesus. And Lynette would holler, Jesus! And her hair would fall back. And then it would come over her face. She sang Jesus till I jumped up and I hollered and I couldn't stop.
Wow.
She sang that song so till anybody and everybody could feel it. So when it came time to record, I wanted to do the song.
Beautiful.
And I called and spoke to Lynette and her husband, Reggie, even. And they said she'd be glad to do it. The next thing I know, Lynette was in L.A.
Wow.
Came down from Oakland, was in L.A. We went over to rehearsal. She was the sweetest.
And y'all got it done.
I'm telling you, she was the sweetest thing this side of heaven. She sat and waited no matter how long it took and got up there and just gave us what is quintessential Hawkins. Anything Hawkins got to be good.
Now, I know 7 out of 11 songs you wrote. What is your process to create?
With this CD, my process was expediency. They needed it right away.
Deadlines.
And I was on tour, and I didn't have time. And I would sit in the studio on the Wednesdays that we were off, because we were off on Wednesdays. And I would come up with songs.
Wow.
And sit down and come up with another song. And then bring the singers in and put the song down.
So how do you feel about that?
It was rushed to me. Now you're asking my professional opinion. Yeah. It was rushed to me. As an artist, you must know I am never satisfied. Okay. I am really not, because I will sit back all day long. We got to go back in the studio. But the thing's been out already for a month. But we're going back in, and the next shipment, we're going to change this part. And I drive Verity Records totally crazy, because I go berserk freako if I hear one thing that I think is wrong. Stupidity. That's not perfectionist. It's just a stupidity.
Wow.
And but I listened to the song. I listened to the song. Again, it's about my favorite. Special Gift is my favorite. All I ever really wanted was you is my favorite. I'm Walking is my favorite. Yes, You Can is my favorite. He's Calling You is my favorite.
Sounds like you pleased with it.
Yeah, something like that. I think he's telling me to wrap it up. The guy's back there. He's right over there. He's doing this.
That was really for me. But anyway, we'll be back. We'll be back with more.
I got
Donnie McClurkin.
How dare they? I'm Donnie McClurkin, baby.
Before we get out of here, Pastor, tell us about Perfecting Faith Church.
Well, Perfecting Faith Church, that is where we are right now.
Yes.
And I think you're probably able to hear them preparing for service now. The prayers already started. And a half hour before service starts at 3 o'clock, well, 2:30, we start our prayer. And we have only one service right now.
At 3 o'clock?
At 3 o'clock.
Well, why is that?
Well, because it gives people a chance to enjoy their Sundays. It gives people a chance to go to breakfast with their families, to sit and to enjoy the morning. And then in the middle of the afternoon, jump up, go to church for 2 or 3 hours, go home in time, put the children to bed, have Sunday dinner, and be refreshed for the next day. Church is not supposed to exhaust people. It's supposed to enhance people. And for many years we went to church, 12 hours straight. Right. But now, that's how we chose to do it, because following the pattern of Perfecting Church in Detroit. And So they come and they drive from different towns, from even out of state, and they come down on Sundays. We have people coming from Connecticut, from Philadelphia, from New Jersey. And every week, I'm talking about every single week. And it's the greatest thing in the world to me, you know. But now we've grown to the point where we have to start a second service. So starting June 1st, we go to a 10:45 service. And it's a wonderful problem to have.
Right.
But this church is my life. It is literally my life. In the middle of the urban community. It's not a suburb. It's not a posh area. It's the middle of Urbana where it's needed.
Your ministry obviously gets beyond the church, but there was something special that happened at the Stellar Wars.
Yeah.
Can you just share that with the people, which I think, again, spoke of just your ministry as well?
It was absolutely a landmark year. And, you know, the Stellar was always a little cautious because they're trying to convey a spiritual thing in a commercial market.
Right.
So they're trying their best to not offend the spiritual side of the Christian viewership by trying to keep it in line so that it's marketable. So they're always concerned about how I'm going to perform. They always are. Don Jackson is always concerned about what Donnie's going to do and whether we can keep him contained until at least we get through the show.
Right.
And I tried my best. Just like last year, I tried my best. And when we got to Praise is What I Do, the last song of the night, Holy Spirit came through there in such a great way. And I didn't plan to do anything, but Michelle, Mary, and I were supposed to come out and just say good night. And when we came out to say good night, the song was too powerful.
Right.
So we kept going. And the Holy Spirit took over, and we just kept singing until finally the Lord said, okay, now, you know, speak to the people. Convict the people. Speak to them on my behalf and let them know that we've got to live the life that I was singing about. The time is up to artists just doing it as a music form. We've done that for too long. Now there has to be a lifestyle, a holiness that goes along with it.
Back to holiness.
Literally. We've got to go back to holiness. And that's what I tried to portray to them in a brief time. Then I found myself prophesying to Don about how if he remains faithful over this, God will bring this thing to a greater level, and he will see such progress, and he will see how God has birthed him for this time to do this, and it will affect the whole world.
Tell us about your website.
Well, the website is www.verityrecords.com. That's Verity, V-E-R-I-T-Y.
Right.
VerityRecords.com. And you can find out more about Donnie McClurkin again and the different artists that are on Verity.
All right, my turn. Don't forget to log on to BET.com, lift every voice. Until next time, I'm your host, Gerard Henry. Peace and God bless.